welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Gillian Perkins and I'm really glad that you have discovered my channel and decided to join us for today's video. Alright, so the first mindset shift that I made in my life that I feel had a really big difference was realizing and figuring out how to appreciate the value of every dollar that I have and every hour or every minute that I have. So there's two main resources that I feel like we have, money and time, and then also energy, of course, but energy is often tied very much to time. So basically money and then time. And previously, I feel like I had money and I thought I should save money, I should invest money, but I often didn't because basically instant gratification. You know, it's nicer, it's funner, it's more enjoyable to spend money to get something now than it is to spend it on your future self. So the mindset shift, I guess, that I had was in realizing how big of a difference it makes to actually save and invest the money. You know, you spend $5 on a coffee now, and I'm not against spending money on coffee, that's not the problem here. Spending $5 on coffee now, or would you rather have $20 or $30 or $50 down the road, okay? It's not $5 now or $5 later. It's $5 now or $20 or $30 or $50 later. And I realized that, I think, mostly when I read Tony Robbins' book called Money, Master the Game. It's a very long book, and so it's definitely not everyone's cup of tea. I ended up listening to it on Audible because it is so long, but all that to say, the book is all about investing, and he talks a lot about principles of compound interest and things like that. Concepts that I knew before, but he went into them in such great detail that they really hit home in a new way, and I realized that how I spend my time or how I spend my money now has a huge impact on my future. And so we changed the way we were spending money, and we started being a lot more frugal about how we're spending money now so that we can save that money and invest it in a better future for ourselves. Okay, the second mindset shift is I removed the word want from my vocabulary. So like, I want to eat ice cream, for example, or I want a bigger house. And the reason that I got rid of this word is twofold. The first one is because, as I'm sure you're aware, there's a very famous passage in the Bible, Psalm 23, that says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." And so I thought a lot about that verse, and I thought, you know, the verse says that we won't want, and what does that actually mean? Well, I mean, it's coming from the old-fashioned definition of the word want, which is to like have a lack of or not have something. So it's not talking about like I have a desire for something, it's talking about I don't have it, you know, I don't have enough. And so the concept behind this verse is really that God, our Father, provides every good thing for us and absolutely everything we need. Not necessarily everything we desire. We all know that a good parent isn't a parent who gives their kid everything they want. You know, mommy, I want candy, and then the kid gets candy. That's not what makes a good mom or a good dad. A good mom or a good dad is one who gives their child what's good for them and what they need in order to grow and to become better. And God is like that to us. He gives us absolutely everything that we actually need and everything that is actually good for us. And so I just realized that by saying I want this or I want that, I wasn't really being thankful or grateful for the fact that God is giving me absolutely everything that I actually need. And then the second reason that I got rid of the word want and the concept of want from my vocabulary is because I really feel that it's tied to a scarcity mindset and a mindset of I don't have, but it's so much healthier to, instead of focusing on I don't have the house that I want or I don't have ice cream that I want to eat, instead focus on what can I do instead, or how can I do this differently, or how can I get the thing that I desire to have. So instead of I want a bigger house, what I would say now would be something more like I'm working on getting a bigger house, or even I hope that someday I have a bigger house. Although I think it's much more empowering to say something along the lines of I'm working on getting a better house, or I intend to have a better house. And then for the ice cream, instead of saying I want ice cream, which immediately makes you feel like, but I can't have it, you know, because I'm trying to eat healthy or something like that, instead of saying I want ice cream, say I feel like eating something sweet. and then figuring out what healthy thing you could eat that is sweet. The third big mindset shift that has really changed my life is choosing to take responsibility for my own success and for my own life. So instead of, just as an example, waiting for a boss to give me a raise or waiting for my husband to fix something in the house that's bugging me, just taking action and doing it myself and not sitting around waiting for other people to somehow make me who I want to be or change my situation to how I want it to be or teach me what I need to know in order to be successful. Once I took that responsibility, then I was able to make so much more progress, so much faster towards my goals because I wasn't sitting around waiting for other people to do it for me. Now, I'm not saying that taking a responsibility like this is easy or comfortable necessarily, because it also means that you're taking responsibility for your failures, or if you're not successful yet, then that means you have to be responsible for that too. But just really owning your own life and taking control of your success, I have found to be really empowering and really helpful in changing my life. The fourth mindset shift that has changed my life is understanding on a deeper level the concept of how money is made. Basically, I mean, in order to make money, you've got a person who spends money and then a person who's giving something. So they're exchanging two forms of value. You know, one person is doing work and the other person is paying, or one person has a product or some sort of object and the other person is paying. And the mindset shift that I had around this was I've always heard people say things like, you'll be rewarded for the value that you give to others, or the amount of money that you make will equal the value you give others, but I didn't really know how to give value to others. I mean, I tried to be helpful, but I didn't get paid for it, and I didn't understand what the disconnect was. But I finally realized that one of the things that you have to be good at in order to get paid for your efforts is you have to be good at actually giving the value to other people. You have to figure out exactly what the value you want to give to other people is. It has to be something that they want. You have to figure out how to get it to them. Because I could sit here and make YouTube videos about stuff you don't want to hear about. Okay, you clicked on this video, so I guess you want to hear about this, right? But I could sit here and make videos just about myself or about something that you don't want to hear about, and that wouldn't actually be giving you value. So I could be working and, you know, putting out effort, but I'm not actually helping you. But on the other hand, if I figure out, you know, if I use my brain intelligently and I figure out something that people actually want and how I can actually get it to them, so instead of just posting this on my blog and not sending anyone to my blog, but, you know, putting it in a public place and having it be something that people want to consume, want to watch, then that's when I actually started making money for my work. Instead of just sitting in my workshop, my theoretical workshop, you know, making mousetraps, and nobody bought my mousetraps, but even though they were the best mousetraps in the world, right? The concept of make a better mousetrap and the world will beat its path to your door only applies if people know that you have a better mousetrap. And so just understanding on a deeper level how money is made and what you have to do in order to facilitate that exchange in value and actually get the money. Habit number 5 that has really changed my life is choosing to actively focus on just one thing at a time. As someone who has a lot of ideas all the time and is definitely a doer and a go-getter and an action taker, I always find it very tempting to work on half a dozen things or more at a time. But I finally realized that that just is not productive and it really wastes my time because I'm not able to make a lot of progress towards any one of those things. So instead, now what I'm doing is I'm really just focusing on one goal at a time. Now, of course, there's always other projects and other things that come up. I have emails to answer. I have other random to-dos that I have to take care of. That happens to everyone. But rather than trying to accomplish like 3 big things all at once and then kind of failing at all of them, or at least not reaching anywhere near the level of success that I wanted to with all of them, really focusing my energy on whatever it is that I am most excited about, most passionate about, and most interested in actually achieving, has really helped me to achieve much bigger goals in much shorter periods of time. The sixth habit kind of goes along with the habit that I mentioned earlier about, taking responsibility for my own success, but this one might be a slightly bitter pill to swallow. But basically what it is realizing that I wasn't even trying. So I had certain goals that I desired to achieve, and some of them were very reasonable and some of them were very far-fetched. But regardless, I had this list of goals that I wanted to achieve, and I kind of wondered why it was taking me so long to get there or why it seemed so hard. And what I finally figured out was that I wasn't even trying. I was wasting so much of my time watching TV or reading books that weren't really helping me get to where I wanted to go, spending time on social media. I was just wasting a lot of time, and even when I was working, I wasn't working that hard. And so just finally realizing that I wasn't even trying, and that in order to be successful, in order to really make a big difference in my life and change my life, I had to simply put in more hours and also work smarter. So I'm not saying we need to work 60 or 80 hours a week. I'm not about that at all. My happy place is working 20, 25, 30 hours a week, which I know is less than most people work at their 9-to-5 jobs. So I'm not saying we need to work an enormous amount, but a small amount even of really focused work, and then using the rest of your time for positive things, not just wasting the rest of your time, can have a really huge impact on your life. And so just to give you an example what I mean, previously I probably was working a similar amount of time most of the time, 20, 30, maybe 40 hours a week. But then I was only working whatever time I needed to put in order to get the tasks done. And then beyond that, I would just waste the time on things that really weren't helpful at all. And because of that, a lot of the time my house was really messy, or I wasn't finishing other projects that I wanted to do, just stuff like that. But these days, instead, what I'm doing is I'm being a lot more intentional about my work, and I'm not just checking off the things that need to be done, but I'm also doing extra things every single day to move me closer to my goals faster. And then whenever it is necessary for me to work more, I'm not shirking away from that. I'm putting in whatever time is necessary. So sometimes when I'm launching a big new project or a big new product or something like that, I have to work 40 or 60 hours a week. And that's not my norm, and that's not what I love doing the most, but I'm willing to put in the work, whatever is necessary, in order to have my goal come about. And then beyond that, when I'm not working, I'm finding better ways to spend my time. I'm putting in a little bit of time every day to actually keep my house clean and tidy and a nice place to live in, spending my time reading books that are helpful or networking with people who I know will help to grow me and teach me new things. So long story short, I just am actually trying now, instead of just kind of coasting through life and every once in a while taking an action and hoping I get to my goal. I'm really trying. I'm really making an effort now. And let me tell you, a little bit of trying goes a really long way. All right, and then the final big mindset shift that I feel changed my life dramatically over the last year or two was realizing that my integrity was one of my most precious resources. Now, I don't think I've ever been a person that others looked at as extremely unreliable or dishonest or anything like that, but I definitely used to be kind of flaky and not as honest as I could be. Let's just put it that way. And in the last few years, I've really realized that other people's trust is so valuable and so important, and it makes you feel so much better, so much happier when you know that you're treating other people well, but also other people are so much more likely to give you opportunities if they really trust you and look up to you. So it's important to be really honest so people know they can trust you, but it's also really important to be on time so that people know that they can trust you and so that they feel valued. If you're showing up late to places, then people will perceive you as flaky, and then they will feel like they can't count on you, which makes them not trust you, and it also makes them probably feel like you don't really care about them. And so these days, I just make a big effort to actually show up with integrity, do a good job on whatever I'm doing, especially if there's other people involved, and there normally is. So instead of just kind of half doing things and half trying, now I'm putting in in a bigger effort to actually create a good quality experience or a good quality product or give someone my full attention when I'm talking to them. And I've just found that this has really improved the relationships in my life, and it's also helped my business and my professional life to be a lot more successful as well. All right, so those are the 7 mindset shifts that have really changed my life over the past couple of years. I've been working on these things and learning these things, well, for a long time, but especially during the last few years. But in the last 9 months or so is when I've noticed that my life has changed really dramatically in so many good ways, and it makes me realize and understand that these things are really having an impact and they're really worth pursuing. They're not just cliche ideas that you see on cute pictures on Instagram, you know, as a quote, but they really can and do have a deep impact when you actually apply them to your life and change your life around them. All right, well, I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If so, hit that like button to let me know, and maybe I can make more videos like this in the future. If you want to see anything specific, of course, leave me a comment down below and tell me whatever your ideas are for my next video. I'm always looking for good ideas. Also, I've got a free resource, as usual, for you guys. Today, it's my checklist for defeating procrastination. It's called Let's Do This, and basically what it is, it's a really simple checklist of some different steps that you can take when you feel like procrastinating on something, but you know that you actually want to take action. Now, I have another video that goes in depth all about how to stop procrastinating and actually get stuff done. I'll link it up there in the corner, but if you want to grab the free printable checklist, then click the link down below and you can download it to your computer and print it out so that whenever you feel like procrastinating, you can just go through these steps and really motivate yourself to start taking action, because making changes in your life really starts with taking action. Thanks again so much for being here. My name is Gillian Perkins, and I hope to see you again in my next video.